Hello everyone! I believe that the successor for the Nintendo Switch is going to flop, and here's why. When Nintendo first released the Switch, that concept was unique. If you wanted to play your games on the go, you had only one option. But today, with each year, more and more portable devices pop up, and many of them already surpasses the Switch hardware. Most of them are even emulating Switch games better than the original console. Personally, I think this is karma hitting Nintendo back for releasing a console with a weak hardware. Let me remind you that the Nintendo Switch is on par with the Wii U, which in turn is equivalent to a PlayStation 3 or a Xbox 360. That is 2 generations behind. And yeah, the Switch is slightly more powerful than the PlayStation 3 and Wii U. But let's be honest, most Switch games could easily run on a Wii U. Even Tears of the Kingdom have no graphical improvements over Breath of the Wild. And even worse, Nintendo just keeps porting Wii U games to the Switch, when they could have kept the Wii U going and released the Switch as a Wii U Pro or something like that. They could even name it Wii U Go. But now the generation is over, and Nintendo is about to release their next hardware, so let's try to imagine the possibilities. First, if Nintendo releases a portable console with the hardware on the same level as the PS4, that option will be quite challenging. Because not only most PS4 tier games are already available for a PC, and can easily run on a Steam Deck or ANEO 2, ANEO Air, in the future AYN Loki. But who would want to port their game to run on Nintendo's newest console? I mean, if you want to play it, just get a Steam Deck. Not to mention that you can even run some PlayStation games on Steam Deck, and that definitely won't be available on a Switch 2 hardware. So unless you really want to play Nintendo exclusives, there's no reason for getting a Switch 2. Second option, if Nintendo releases a home console and try to compete with a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. That again doesn't look very good. I doubt that Nintendo would have the same level of competence to make games on the same level as games made by Sony or Microsoft. After years making games for a weaker hardware, they are out of shape, and definitely won't be able to handle a cutting-edge hardware. And if you look at their rivals, the PS5 is already well established, and Sony is already working on exclusive titles. They will really need to step up their game if they go with this option. And that leaves us to the final possibility. Nintendo could release another gimmicky console to set them apart from any possible competition. Like they did with the Wii, Wii U, and the Switch, they will have to bring something new to the table. What will it be? I have no idea. Maybe a VR console with display on glasses, like the Viture, or maybe a mix or both. And in the end, that too will be very risky. We already have VR, and it's still not the perfect experience. And if they go to this option, I definitely don't see myself buying a Nintendo hardware again. If you think about it, you could have skipped the Wii U entirely and bought the Switch in the end, and you would be able to catch up because most of the Wii U games are available on the Switch, with enhancements too. Another point is that they lost the perfect time frame to release a new console, which is the release of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild was a huge selling point for the Switch, and followed by Mario Odyssey, it was the perfect kickstart for a console. But Tears of the Kingdom will be released in a few weeks, and there is no signs of a new console. So unless Nintendo is making something huge, like a sequel to Smash Ultimate, which I highly doubt is gonna happen, the Switch will have a weak launch. To be honest, I grew tired of Nintendo. In the past, Nintendo was always a brand of high quality. They always pushed for innovation, but at the same time, they brought cutting-edge technology to their consoles. The 64 only failed because they opted for cartridges in an era where CDs were the future, and they repeated the same mistake on the GameCube, opting for mini DVDs that in the end limited the space of the games, resulting in more cost for the developers by having to add a second disc to the package. When they released the Wii, it's like they gave up. Just make a new gimmick and try to sell a console around that. It's very cool at first, but after a while it gets stale and people will move to other consoles. third-party companies will either downgrade and release poorly optimized games, or not release their games on Nintendo platforms anymore. And without powerful hardware, their games get easily emulated. I won't be surprised if their next console gets an emulator 2 years after release. In the end, I think that the best option for Nintendo today is to go third-party like Sega. They will make way more money if they release their games to all consoles, and players too will benefit from that by not having to buy a console just to play Nintendo exclusives. And that's it for this video. What's your opinion on this? Do you think that Nintendo can stand a chance on the next generation? Leave your opinions in the comments and I'll see you next time.